Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi, Judy, Laura. Hi, everyone. We're just gonna hang on a couple minutes here as we get some others hopping on here. We have about 200 registrants for today's event, so I'm excited to see some familiar faces, some new faces. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you guys haven't already, grab something to drink, grab a notebook, a pen. Going to be providing a lot of ideas, insight, information today. We have a lot to cover, so I'm going to get started in just a second. Drop in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. I'd love to see where in the world you are. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. Hi, everyone. Hi, Amy, Charlotte, Debbie. Hello, hello. Rita. Hi, everybody. Mexico. Oh my, let's see. Connecticut, hello from Italy. Sarah's in Italy. Charlotte's in Mexico. Debbie's in Alaska. Judy's in Florida. Judy, I was just in Florida. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. All right, we're just getting some more people on here. Hello, everybody. Laura's in Canada. Natalia's in Argentina. Amy's in Colorado. Laura, Virginia. Welcome, welcome, everybody. All righty. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to get started here. I'm going to keep an eye on the weight room and let others hop on. But like I said, I have a lot to cover. So I want to make the most of our time here and get started. Hi, everyone joining us. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. Hello, everybody. Hi, Lori, Michelle, Sarah. Hello, hello. All righty. This is our annual TCN Travel Coaching 101 free webinar that we hold every year. John's in Rockville. Wonderful. Welcome. And I'm going to keep checking on the chat here. So if you guys see me just take a break for a second, not chat, the letting people in here. So again, take notes. There's a lot covered. I will be sending out the replay to this once we are finished, because like I said, there's a lot that will be covered. So if it's anything you want to go back and watch, you can definitely do that. Hello, everyone. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. New York, Michelle, welcome. All righty. You guys are all here because you probably obviously have a passion for travel. You want a business that brings you flexibility, maybe the ability to work from anywhere in the world, to build your own schedule, to wake up every day and kind of figure out what you want to do for the day versus having someone else dictate that for you. I know that's what I was looking for when I was trying to figure out what my career path was in the travel industry or just my career path in general. You don't know what your online coaching program would be, but you know that you want one. So you're here to figure out, get some ideas for that. We're definitely going to be covering that today. You may be curious to see what else there is in the travel industry for a career, figuring out maybe what is travel coaching? Do I want to do that? Maybe it's something I'm already doing. I just didn't really realize that. You're serious about soaking in all the education and experiences that you can for your travel business. Maybe you're seeking more out of your travel business. Maybe you're a travel agent, or maybe you have been a travel manager or, worked in, another role in the travel hospitality industry. And you want to see like, what else can I do in my business that aligns more with what I'm passionate about, how I want to help people, what I believe in about travel. And if that's the case and you guys said, yes, that's me, well, perfect, because you are in the right place. That's exactly what today's session is going to be all about. And I want you to feel like today is the day that everything in your business journey is going to change for you. So what are we going to be covering? Today I'm going to be going over what is travel coaching and what makes it different from another travel role like a travel agent or advisor. why now is a great time to become a travel coach. Second, let me get some more people in here. Hello, everybody. How to find your niche in today's travel industry. Why you don't have to do just one-on-one coaching as a travel coach. The underlying reasons why people travel in the first place. Niches that travel coaches tend to focus in. Providing transformative travel experiences and what that means for your clients. Getting visible in your travel coaching business. And what do I mean by visibility? Why no one actually sells travel. How to make money from your coaching program. And what not to do when starting your travel coaching business. What type of content to create, and much more. Hello, everyone. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. Let me know, drop in the chat anytime that you want to. If there's a question that you do have, I'm going to be answering questions at the end. You might want to wait a little bit because I am covering quite a bit today, so your question might be answered. But if there is a question that you don't hear me answering, or there's a topic that I haven't covered quite yet, do drop it in the chat and let me know. So let's see here. Before I move forward with everything that we're covering today, many of you know who I am, but many of you don't. I see a lot of names and faces who are in the Travel Coach Network, are either our membership club, our private Facebook groups, and our public Facebook groups, or even our Travel Coach certification program. But many of you have not. So you're just interested, you're here today, you come across us maybe on our social media, maybe, no worries. Glad that you're here, Linda. Drop in the chat. I want you guys to connect with one another too. Maybe there's someone in your hometown who is also in the chat. Connect with them. Drop your Instagram to each other. There's a lot of amazing human beings in the Travel Coach Network, and I love when you guys are able to connect with one another. So like I said, many of you don't know who I am. So I'm Sahara Rose DeVore. I'm the founder and CEO of the Travel Coach Network. And before I dive into more of what the Travel Coach Network is, I'll share more of how I got to where I am as a travel coach and as the founder of the TCN. I studied hospitality and tourism management in university, and I graduated in 2010. I didn't grow up in a family that traveled. I was someone who never knew what career path I wanted. Travel never even crossed my mind. I didn't think anything about travel when I was younger. Because I didn't have that inspiration by others. It wasn't until I changed universities my midway through college, and I entered a hospitality and tourism management program. And I learned from others. There were many foreign exchange students. There was my professor, other students who traveled a lot, especially those from Europe or parts of Southeast Asia, where it's super easy to travel to another country by bus or train or a budget flight, or even go to a country for a day and come back. And that's when it really hit me. And I was like, wow, there's so much out there to this world. But at the age of, when I was in university, I think I was 20 at the time, I was like, I'm a broke college student. I could barely pay my bills living in the expensive city of Chicago. What am I going to do? But I made a pact with myself that I'm going to figure out how can I be able to travel the world when I graduate in 2 more years from now. And I wanted to do what I'd always heard of, which is this backpacking Europe. Who here always had this fantasy of backpacking Europe before? Drop in the chat, let me know. It was the very first thing I've ever heard of when I was in high school. So I was pretty naive to the whole concept, but it was always in the back of my mind. And yeah, Linda says, sure, yeah, absolutely. Backpacking Europe, it just became like a thing that I heard people do. So when I graduated in 2010, I found myself struggling with anxiety. I've always had an anxiety disorder. And I was experiencing bouts of depression. I was at a place where I felt like I'm now finished with school. What do I do with myself? I could easily find a job in the big city of Chicago in hospitality and tourism. I learned about a lot of travel jobs throughout the program I took. but I said, I don't want to sit in an office and work for a company that told me when I could and couldn't take a vacation. I didn't want a cap put on how much money I could make. But what do I want to do? And I just didn't feel like doing what society or you're supposed to do after graduating was going to be the route for me. Um, welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. All right, let's get some more people in here. And so when I graduated, I was able to save enough money. I changed my money mindset for those 2 years and worked my butt off. And I was able to buy a one-way ticket to Ireland. I packed a backpack and I set off to travel. I thought I was going to go for just a month and a half, but it turned out that I got bit by the travel bug, like many of you do. And I wound up spending the next 10 years traveling on and off to over 84 countries. And it was during that journey that I was really inspired by the reasons why people travel beyond what was being marketed or talked about in the tourism industry. And I also saw the voids in the industry when it came to how travel was marketed, sold, booked, planned, even talked about and valued in our lives. Versus there was a big disconnect between the real reasons we choose to go on a trip and then what is actually brought to the surface. Hello, everyone. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. That's okay if you don't use Instagram. Drop if you guys have LinkedIn. Drop your Instagram, drop your Facebook, drop your Pinterest if you have one. Connect with one another. I'll send out the chat as well in the replay post event. And I just was at a place where I was like, I saw this void. But I said, what do I want to do with my travel career? There was a rise of the travel technology, that impact that social media had on tourism. There was influencers, there were bloggers, travel writers, but still nothing clicked in me. I knew I didn't want to plan and book trips for people. I had done that before, just like leisurely, casually for friends and family. And I just, with my anxiety, I just didn't like the booking aspect of trips. It was a lot of pressure and stress for me. And so I said, there has to be something more out there with a travel career than just blogging, writing about travel, or booking trips. And that's all really I felt like the industry said. Of course, there's other careers like flight attendant. I actually have a fear of flying, so I did not want to live on airplanes. And I didn't want to work in hotels. I was never interested. So here I am with all of this experience and knowledge of travel, and I felt I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so that is when I said, when I'm 30 years old, I'm going to figure this out. 30 came around, and it was the very first time I bought a laptop, and I was sitting in Bilbao, Spain, the north of Spain, and I was in the hostel commons area, and I opened my laptop for the first time, and I started Googling how to start an online business. What kind of travel businesses are there? I was very, very green. I never thought that I would start my own business, but I felt like it was what I was going to have to do because I was struggling for so long to figure out and find what I was looking for out there. And that's when I came across the coaching industry and realized the rise in people using coaches, and it clicked. I wanted to be a travel coach. And what I want to do as I was figuring out my travel coaching business, I wanted to focus in the wellness side of travel and gear that towards corporate workers like business travelers and employee well-being. And it was during that time that when I started posting about it, I was reached out by many of you online or people like yourself asking, what is a travel coach? And that's when I founded the Travel Coach Network. So we are just about 6 years into our business. The Travel Coach Network is a global community of travel coaches who are certified through our world's first and only International Coach Federation accredited certification program. But before we dive into more about travel coaching, is a little bit more about what I've done over the years in the world of travel and travel coaching. This is outdated because I've been in over 200 media outlets now. We had a really big article in CNN Travel last May where many of the TCN travel coaches were in there and myself. I've had the honor to give a TEDx talk on the power of travel for building happier and more united communities, both inside and out of the workplace. And stood on stages and get paid for that to talk about the wellness benefits of travel in the corporate space. If anyone's in the Wisconsin area, you will be able to tune in and see me on the season 8 of Project Pitch It, as you see down in that corner over there, where I am talking about and pitching the concept of the Travel Coach Network. So a lot of fun things we have done over the years, and I'm going to show you some of the accomplishments of our travel coaches in a few slides here too. And you might be asking, Sahara, how did you get this media coverage? How do you get these opportunities? I'm going to be sharing some of that in today's webinar as well. Hello, everybody. All right. Why now is the perfect time to become a travel coach? Well, there's a variety of reasons. As we have known, that the main one is when the travel industry came to a halt during the pandemic, that was a time that allowed people, and maybe many of you have felt this way too. You're like, it gave you time to rethink what you were doing in your business or what you were doing in your job, what job you had. Maybe it was you weren't fulfilled. Maybe you felt taken advantage of. Maybe it was time to now start something of your own and really follow through with your passion for travel, or rethink your business model. That time was also actually really beneficial for the tourism industry in the sense where very important topics like transformative travel, wellness travel, mindful travel, cultural immersion, all of these kind of keywords, slow travel that we hear about came to the surface because people realize the value that travel has on our overall well-being, our mental well-being, our spiritual well-being, our emotional well-being, and even our social well-being too. And then also just the value that travel gave for us as human beings and what it did for our lives, our relationships, our mindset, and even our productivity in our work too, right? Maybe we traveled and got inspired. I know that's how I am, to go lay at the beach, get some sunshine, do some work for the day. It gets me energized. So the concept of well-being and all of these really important topics came to the forefront, which then kind of forces the travel industry to make these small tweaks, sustainability. How do we now travel and make the planet better? How do we travel and benefit the local communities? How do we travel and have more meaning and purpose to where we go and who we give our money to and how we, what kind of experiences that we have? All of these topics are being talked about since 2020 in the tourism industry and in these different companies of, what small tweaks can we make and what's the bigger picture and what bigger changes can we make too. And that's really where the growth of the Travel Coach Network came about, was during that time, because we are all about helping people use travel as that vessel, that tool for things like transformation, for having more meaningful experiences, for healing through travel. And we're going to share more about that soon too. So basically times have changed, and just like any industry, the tourism industry is evolving. We already kind of saw that in the travel agent world with the evolution of the different terminology, like travel agents, travel designers, travel advisors, realizing that there's more of that personal approach, that more of like a guru, a lifestyle coach kind of approach that needs to be had, more than just the logistics of an itinerary and that transactional approach to how you work with your clients. Travelers are also making different purchasing decisions. So again, like I said, what companies they travel with, what destinations they go to, what airlines they fly on. There's a lot more meaning behind where their dollar is being spent and how. And it's a time now to get more personal and authentic and purposeful in your travel business than ever before, especially because there is the talks of AI, and not even just the talks, the implementation of AI, especially in the travel industry. And sometimes there's that fear behind well, what's the threat from AI into what we're going to do as, maybe you're a travel agent. There's a lot being done by the big companies for the virtual travel assistants, being able to plan and book trips, create itineraries, and add that quote unquote personal approach, so they say. So it's really important now to make sure that your business has that human-centric approach, because AI is never going to be able to replace us as human beings and what we do at an emotional level. And that's really the foundation of what we do as travel coaches. Oh, this slide's a little bit blurry, but these are just some of the articles that we've been in the travel industry, or travel industry in the media, in the Travel Coach Network. So Forbes a few years ago talked about the personal travel coaches being a hot new trend. That's the title of that's the CNN travel article that I mentioned, of why a travel coach is a must-have for some travelers. Many of our travel coaches were in there, our ambassadors, or anyone we've had guests, speakers to our members have been in there. We've been in Travel Noir, Yahoo, and Wander Magazine, and Fodder's Travel. So the concept of travel coaching is being talked about quite a bit in the media. I also want to, I mentioned personalization, especially when I was talking about AI, but I was recently watching or attending an online virtual summit about AI in the travel space and travel trends. And there was the Sanjay Raman, who is the chief product officer at TripAdvisor. And he was asked what a few trends that stand out to him right now and in the future of travel of the industry are. And one of the main ones that he said, one of three, is personalization. So that there shows you that you need to figure out what personalization really truly means for your travel business, and not travel personalization in the sense of, well, my clients like to dine at five-star restaurants. They prefer French cuisine. There's two kids and they need, a crib in their hotel bedroom. They like aromatherapy in their room, whatever it might be. Like, that's not personalization in the sense of how deep travel actually means, what the value that travel actually means to us. And I'm going to share more about what I exactly mean by this in a few. These are just some other times that I have heard people in the travel industry who are at a higher level, who make a big impact, whether they're companies or individuals, who have said something that aligns with the point of how important personalization and the evolution of a travel business and the role that a travel expert has with their client is making. So there's a company called Amadeus. Amadeus is a leading technology and software company that powers the travel industry. They are a massive giant, very innovative. I recommend people to go check out their website. It's very complex, but I love following what they do. And they said, quote, travel consultants now need to act as personal travel assistants who are partially data scientists, partially lifestyle gurus, and who move away from providing information to offering personalized guidance. Then they go on to say, quote, from complex problem solving to managing disruption, having the right mix of emotional and technical skills is key. And that's what we do as travel coaches. We add that emotional appeal to why people travel, how they travel, and the experiences that they have. And then Bonnie Smith, she was the GM at FCM Travel Solutions for South Africa, says, quote, travelers will demand more from their travel agency. Forget that transactional booking agents, travel management companies that are able to support their clients at every stage of the traveler journey, providing them with all the information and resources they need, will have a distinct advantage in the future of travel, end quote. And what she means by the able to support the clients at every stage of the traveler journey, it's beyond just the booking phase, right? How do we support our travelers beforehand? So that's where travel coaching comes in, when asking those powerful questions, really getting to know them and understand them on a deeper level. providing that support, that accountability. How can we support them during their journey as well? And then definitely after. So it's one thing to, the trip is done, communication's off, but how do we support our travelers and help them implement what they've learned, what they've experienced during their trip, and apply it to their life, to their mindset, to their relationship, to whatever goal, intention they had in the first place post-trip. And then Bonnie Smith also says, quote, soft skills like empathy, communication, and the ability to listen are more important than ever. Travel agents need to be engaged and responsive, especially when things go wrong, and willing to go that extra mile. Grit, adaptability, flexibility, the list goes on. The travel agent of the future is an expert, a specialist, a therapist, and someone to lean on, end quote. And I know she's speaking specifically about travel agents, but that's really what we do at the essence of travel coaches. It's that emotional appeal. It's that understanding them, letting your clients know that you understand them on a human level and what their needs and desires really are, and touching on those pain points. And we're going to get into all of that a lot more soon. Just two more or a few more quotes here from the World Economic Forum. They said, quote, the emotion of empathy plays a strong role in building memorable journeys, whether for business or for leisure, end quote. And then a few more from Amadeus. People buy with their hearts, not always with their heads, and emotion plays a strong role in building memorable journeys for both business and for leisure, end quote. And providing a human touch is one of the biggest factors for success, says Amadeus. Yeah. Before I dive more into what exactly travel coaching is and how you can get started with your own travel coaching business, or how you can amplify your travel coaching business if you are a travel coach, first, I want to talk about why people actually travel. So this is what we typically hear in travel tourism marketing, right? People want to meet new people, try new foods, see new sites, visit new places, have adventures, have new experiences, learn about new cultures, and relax on a beach, right? Maybe we hear about escape getaways as well. But we know that there's a lot more depth to why we travel as human beings than what's really talked about in the marketing. Last year in 2023, the TCN did a survey of over 400 of our members and asked the general question, why do you travel on a deeper and more personal level? We didn't give prompts. We didn't give answers to choose from. We collected those 400 plus answers and we put them into categories. And we we realized that there were three main categories that people alluded to or talked about why they actually traveled. And those three things are, number one was, and this was the most, personal development and self-discovery. Who here, drop in the chat if you have gone on a trip because you felt like you needed some sort of soul searching. You went on a trip because you needed time to self-reflect. I know I have. I mean, I was a solo traveler for how many years? It's what I did all the time. I was on my own journey to figuring out who I wanted to be, what kind of life I wanted to have. Sarah says 1,000%, absolutely. Judy says, yes, of course. I want to see some of these other comments. Check another item off the bucket list. I travel along with them. Yes, absolutely. Me, says Amy. My teenage son and I started traveling after a divorce. Yes. That's something quite common I hear. So number two was learning about or experiencing new cultures, and that included trying new foods. So we hear this term immersing in cultural experiences. We really do have an innate curiosity of what it's like to live in different places, of how people, what their lifestyles like, what their traditions are, what their mindset, their belief systems are as well. It's innate in us as travelers. So that was the second one. It had to do about learning, experiencing new cultures. And the third one was education and curiosity. And so this was a pretty broad one, but it was learning about yourself. It was learning about other places in this world. It's about history. Curiosity is just having that innate sense of curiosity as well. And then I listed some others here. So there's, like I said, there was over 400 responses and they fall in different categories. So some of those fall in those top three here, but other reasons why we really do travel is heal. Like we heal from heartbreak, we heal from loss or trauma, or, it helps us at least cope with it or figure out what life looks like. Finding clarity, maybe in a career break, life transition, maybe you're an empty nester, maybe you are unhappy with your career path right now and you need to figure out what that looks like. Building relationships, we go on trips to connect deeper, to learn about our partners, to meet other people for that social interaction. Building our confidence, that goes into that self development too. We want to figure out, what are we capable of? Who am I outside of maybe a relationship? Who am I outside of my job? Who am I outside of my role? Maybe a mom. Maybe it's burnout. That's a big one too. A lot of people travel to be able to feel revived again, to feel alive, to live life to the fullest as well. John says, I was always curious about everything. I think I was doing some soul searching at first, but now it's more like soul nourishment, personal growth, and fulfillment in life are reasons for travel. Absolutely. And it blows my mind. Like I hear these things over and over and over again. So what you see here kind of on this list and what I just read of John's comment, I hear it so often of why we travel. Like I said, I traveled for over almost a decade and had tens of thousands of conversations with other travelers, whether they were long-term travelers, they were just on a vacation, they were using their vacation days, whatever it might be. And maybe they're sitting a business traveler on a plane next to me. Travel really does feed our soul. It's something that we turn to for so many different personal reasons. And that's why travel coaching really emphasizes that a personalized emotional approach, because when we can tap into what that is, we can help people make better planning decisions, booking decisions, and what kind of experiences they really need to have in order to reach those goals that they have or those desires. All right, let's keep moving forward here. So what is a travel coach? I kind of briefed over it already, but a travel coach is someone who helps people set intentions for their trips so that they can make better travel decisions. It helps them use travel as a tool or vessel for things like transformation, healing, maybe it's a human connection, self-discovery, whatever that individual traveler's needs, goals, desires, pain points are, to help them use travel, use a trip, use a travel experience as that vessel, that catalyst to help them reach those goals. So unlike a travel agent, a travel coach does not focus on the booking phase of a trip. There's a whole different, training and logistics of being a travel agent. Travel coaches instead help people figure out their why for travel and what are they looking for as well. It is our job as a travel coach to provide change and transformation for the client. Think life coaching plus travel. Think travel as a source of almost therapy, right? Travel coaching brings this to the surface for the entire travel planning and experience process. What feeling, outcome, transformation, result, or changes is that individual looking for, right? Like we want to feel something different. We want to, have something changed in our life, whether it's our mindset, how we feel, or be happier, right? And I know I was on a mission to figure out, what did happiness look like for me? I knew living in Chicago and what I was doing and what I thought I was supposed to do wasn't going to make me happy. What was? I was on a search of my own discovery. But with that said, there are many travel agents, life coaches, retreat leaders, tour operators, even medical experts in the TCN who are in there to learn how they can incorporate travel coaching into how they work with their clients, how they market their business, and how they provide their services. Travel coaching is about flipping the script on how travel is viewed, talked about, valued, marketed, and even sold. And I keep doing sold because I'm going to talk about why we don't sell travel in coming up here. When it comes to what kind of travel coaches are there, honestly, the number is endless because travel means something so differently to each and every one of us. So it's about tapping into what travel means for you. What is your truth, your belief around travel, and who can benefit from that? Who can you help? Travel coaches utilize the coaching steps, the fundamentals, the core competencies of coaching, and the actions and requirements to help their clients reach those goals that they have. So what are some niches that travel coaches focus in, or what are, their areas of expertise? Again, like I said, this is really individualized to the travel coach. If you are already a travel coach here, drop in the chat what your niche is or what your area of expertise is. And if you're not a travel coach yet, say that you're not a travel coach, but what do you think you want to focus in? What do you think your niche would be? I'm very curious to hear. First, before I talk about, the types of, you can read it here, there's different types of niches. These are just a very small snippet. These are some of the ones I hear quite often from many members in the TCN in our certification program. But I am not a big fan of believing in having to niche yourself down. And why and what do I mean by that? One is that the old school way of finding a niche has always been, what's the demographic? What's their income level? What kind of category? Is it luxury travel? Is it cruises that you want to focus in? Is it only family travel you want to focus in? Is it a certain brand? Is it Disney? Is it Royal Caribbean? What is it that you want to help people to work with people on? And who that you want to reach, like how do you want to define yourself and who is it that your clients are? It's been kind of very put a box around who we can serve. But when you, for example, I always give this an example here. If you were to take a full room of people and you ask them, let's see here, types of travel coaches. Laura's is a family travel coach. Yes, Laura's in the certification program. Not a coach yet, says Kaya. Niche would probably be directed towards family travel. Not sure how to isolate it any further yet. Sarah says, I would like to do retreats that focus on soul searching, nourishment, and cultural immersion. I love that. Amy says, I'm going through the certification now, but I'm thinking of helping single moms travel with their kids. Yes. World schooling is also a popular topic, kind of falls along those lines. Linda says, Linda recently joined. I want to work with solo travelers and women going through a transition of some form. Yes, that transition, the life transitions, kind of that category has been a really popular one too. So like I said, career transitions, empty nesters, maybe after a big life event happens, helping people rediscover who they are, finding their purpose again. Rita says, sticking with group travel, one tour bus at a time. I love that. I'm going to talk about some group trips and how you can implement travel coaching here too. Carmen says, empty nesters. Yes. Carrie says, I would like to do friends, family, and faith-based travel groups. That's super interesting. I do, one of our members, one of our original members of the certification program, she focuses on faith-based group tours. Debbie says, my niche may be global transformational journeys in wellness, cuisine, and in the arts. And Sarah says, probably would focus on solo female travel over 40. Group travel through school, says Rita. All right, wonderful. I love hearing all of this. Haven't promoted myself as a travel coach, but I've been building a travel brand focused on helping people get more curious about travel. I haven't monetized it yet. but after hearing about travel coaching, it seems like a great fit for me. Wonderful. Yeah, we can definitely talk about this. The niche is curiosity and seeing the value in every place. I love that. Okay, perfect. And so what, like I was saying, that the exercise I always give is that if you were to take a room full of people, different ages, genders, backgrounds, lifestyle, everything is different, very diverse room, and you were to ask them, who here, raise your hand, would likes the experience of going off the beaten path, taking time to self-reflect and journal near a body of water, meet new people, and do a little bit of self-discovery. I guarantee everyone who raises their hand is not going to be of the same income level, the same age range, the same gender, same background, same anything. So we cannot group people into these niches based off of the type of experience we assume they would want or that we put a box around. Instead, you need to find the pain points of the ideal client that you are trying to serve, of your ideal client. What are their pain points? I'm going to talk about this in a bit here too. But when you have identified the pain points of them, so for example, when I say pain points, it could be someone who is experienced a life transition and is in a place of needing to find clarity and purpose. That's very broad. That's a pain point for people who are empty nesters, who are going through career transitions, who are going through loss, maybe going through divorce, a life event. So you can broaden your customer base when you identify the main problem that you are trying to solve. So, and then, like I said, these are just some of the examples of what I hear often in the travel coach certification program, but the list is endless. In our certification program, we give even more examples for you to kind of toy around with the ideas. But let's go into what some of our travel coaches from our certification program have said. Oh, Linda, look, you are being highlighted here. Linda says, quote, in my 50s, I overcame initial fears to embark on solo travel. Through practicing with short trips, I gained confidence. I ended up loving travel on my own. It was after walking the Del Norte Camino in Spain that I realized I had something to offer others. I decided to combine my love for coaching with my passion for travel and offered travel coaching to women who are experiencing a major change, end quote. And then Sonia has said, I can't see the top part, but she goes on to say, as a mom who loves to travel, I understand the struggle of balancing everyday responsibilities with the desire to create meaningful family moments. I've been there, from family road trips to exploring destinations across the US, other countries, and beyond. But I wanted more than just vacations. I wanted milestones, memories that lingered in our hearts for years. My passion lies in travel, and I've witnessed the transformative impact that it can have. My goal is to empower my ideal client to have the confidence and excitement to begin the travel planning journey. And then we have Chanel. Chanel said, quote, the decision to become a travel coach stemmed from my deep-rooted belief in the transformative power of travel. Every journey has the potential to unlock new perspectives, broaden horizons, and foster personal growth. Through my own travels and experiences, I've witnessed firsthand how intentional exploration can shape lives. Helping clients uncover their why behind their journeys allows them to cultivate more meaningful and rewarding experiences. It's not just a career choice, it's my calling. And lastly, we have Alex, and Alex says, quote, as a seasoned global adventurer who has deeply experienced the transformative power of travel, my purpose is to guide others towards their own path of discovery and growth. I'm driven by the belief that travel is more than just visiting new places. It's a journey of personal evolution that challenges our limitations, reshapes our perspectives, and unlocks our potential. My goal is to help people harness the enriching power of travel, not only to achieve their dreams, but to surpass them, embracing a life of freedom, independence, and unbound personal growth. End quote. So we hear those are just four examples of four of our members being highlighted, talking about the impact of what travel did for them and what inspired them to now to help others and in what ways. And we hear a lot of transformation in there, transformative experiences, and we hear a lot about self-discovery, personal growth. When we hear transformative experience, I want to make a note and say you have make sure that you define what that looks like and means for your ideal clients, because that's something I do hear a lot, not only from our members, but just in the travel industry in general. We hear that transformative experiences or cultural immersion. We hear these keywords a lot, but you have to define what that means and looks like for your ideal clients, because just because you say transformative experiences does not mean that it doesn't mean anything. That can mean anything to anyone, and it means something different to everyone. So strategically, you want to make sure that it aligns with your ideal client's needs and pain points. I just want to point that out there. So why do I say that we don't actually sell travel? Because when we take a look at anything that we buy, anything we give our money over for, whatever company it might be, product we buy. You guys like my TCN mug? I forgot that I had it. I just never used it. And then I kept drinking coffee on our live monthly calls in the certification program. I'm like, I should put that mug out there. If you guys like them, I can get some more and send them out as gifts. We love sending t-shirts to our members. So when we think about anytime we buy something, we're looking for something in return. Like there's a problem that we're trying to solve. If we are trying to lose weight, we buy diet pills is because we don't actually want to take another pill or vitamin or whatever it might be for the day. It's because we're looking for a result. We're looking for an after effect. So we see images of like before and after of people who lose weight, and that's what we want. We want that result. We're looking for results in our life. If we're going shopping, we buy a new pair of shoes. It's not that we probably need another new pair of shoes in our closet. We want to feel the experience of feeling confident in them, of feeling glamorous in them. We want to feel happy that we have something that we love to wear, right? There's always a result of why we are buying or giving our money over for something. And that's the same with travel. People aren't buying a trip. They're not buying the logistics of an itinerary. What they're looking for is some sort of change, transformation, and outcome. So like we said, when I was traveling, I graduated university and I was like, I'm going to go to book a one-way ticket to Ireland. It's not because I wanted to just go to Ireland. I was looking for a way to figure out what I wanted out of life. I didn't know what travel could do for me, and it didn't have to be specifically Ireland. That was just a catalyst of my journey. But I was looking for a change in how I felt within. I was looking for a change. I was looking for clarity on what my life was going to look like. Maybe it was a person that I met was going to inspire me. Maybe it was the sights I was going to see was going to inspire me. I didn't know. I didn't have answers along the way, or I didn't have answers in the beginning, but I had a lot of questions to ask answers within myself. And so you want to be able to, people want a solution for their problem. And like I said, that as a coach, that's what you're doing. You're providing a solution to their main problem that they have. That's what you should be putting into your marketing and into your messaging. I'm going to dive into marketing in a bit more here though for you. And again, people make purchasing decisions based off of emotions. And travel is emotional. Travel is personal. So make sure that you are incorporating that emotional appeal into how you are, if you're a travel agent, how you're selling trips. We don't want to see the book now, visit here. That means nothing in the travel industry anymore. There are countless places in this world that have beautiful white sand beaches and palm trees. There are many beaches in this that we can just sip pina coladas on. Why is a specific destination the place that ideal client should go to? How will it benefit them? How will that experience satisfy their needs and their goals? Make that connection. It's not about, I was trying to find the quote. I couldn't find it because I posted about it last year, but I was watching I think I was reading an article, and there was a World Economic Forum event taking place in was somewhere in the Middle East. And one of the biggest investors for like the tourism industry or something was talking, and he said they asked him, um, like, what's a change that you're seeing, or what do you think is in the future of travel? And what he said was, it's a experience first, destination second approach. So what people are looking for is they're figuring out first instead of deciding, oh, I want to go to Australia, I want to go to Spain, I want to go to South Africa. Instead, they're figuring out, what do I need for myself? What am I looking to get out of this? What kind of experiences do I need to have? Do I need to be around more people? Do I need to, uh, you know, do something more adventurous that gets me out of my comfort zone? Do I need to spend more time with my loved ones on the trip? Do I need to spend time alone? They're figuring out the experiences they need to have, and then they're choosing the destination that best aligns and satisfies with those experiences, because everywhere in this world has something different to offer us. Every city, every country, everything, whether it's because of culture, cuisine, lifestyle, nature, a big city, a small hidden gem, whatnot. So in travel coaching, we talk about that too when it comes to how you're um, talking about travel, how you're promoting travel, how you're working with people to help them have these transformative experiences. Think of the experiences first and the destination second approach. Let's see. Just checking on the chat real quick. We always need good walking shoes when traveling. Yes, we do. And there's so many different ones out there. I'm going to ask this question because I was emailed it yesterday and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. But since there's so many of you and we talked about shoes here in travel, the editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine emailed me yesterday asking if uh, he wanted to get this for his wife. But has anyone ever heard of a personal shopper, but for travel? So like a travel stylist or a travel gear personal shopper. Has anyone ever heard of that? Drop in the chat if you have. I asked my TCN members in our global community, you heard about that, Rita? Is that a thing? Except on the forum, yeah. Never heard of that. I think he wanted to get his wife one for some reason. I never heard of it, but it's quite clever, right? Anywho, so let's get on to the next one. How do travel coaches make money? This is obviously a very popular question. And just because, so let me move back here for a second. So unlike travel agents who usually generate revenue from commissions, travel coaches, it's a different type of business. It's a different type of business model. But with that said, you can make money in so many different ways because this is your business. I'm a big fan of empowering my members in the travel coach certification program and the network and the membership club to design your ideal travel business. What I mean by that is we sometimes feel like we have to do what we're told we should be doing. So, oh, well, we have to sell travel and get commissions. So therefore I must be a travel agent if I want to help people travel. That's not true. Or I must, work with one-on-one with people because I'm a coach. That's not true either. You don't have to do that. You need a business model that works for you. And it doesn't have to include private coaching sessions if that's not what you want to do. I didn't want to do that when I became a wellness travel coach. So I had to ask myself, what do I want to do? So you need to ask yourself, what do I want to do in my business and what do I not want to do in my business? Just because you have a certain qualification or experience or training or someone told you something does not mean that that's what you have to include into your business. It's your business. You can design it however you want to. There are so many ways for us to make money these days, especially if you run an online business. So there's different ways to get creative as a travel coach and incorporate various revenue streams into your business. Just like any successful business, and I say successful because it's important to have at least 3, 4 different revenue streams in your business. And that could be as simple as a digital product, private sessions, collaborations and partnerships. There's many different ways. So I'll talk about some other ways to generate revenue here. So group coaching. You can implement travel coaching into group coaching. It's serving more people at once. What a really good idea if you're going to want to serve more people at once. Maybe you are going on group tours, or maybe it is just, digital or online group coaching sessions. You want to make sure, find that commonality around one another, because when we say group, there's that social interaction. There's that human connection component to it. So how can people support one another? How can they hear one another? How can you guide them through that journey so that they can deepen their own experiences by connecting with those in the group as well? Creating a signature coaching program. I'm going to, in this slide coming up, I'm going to talk about, how do you start that? How do you design that? Digital products. Maybe it is a course you want to sell, or a resource. Maybe you find yourself providing the same information over and over and over again, and you want to package that and make it part of, make it a revenue stream. It could be a lower ticket item of yours, and then you can add a group coaching or private coaching session as an upsell, or as a separate offer. So find where you can automate and systematize what you're doing in your business. Digital products could also be an ebook that you have. I mean, I published a book. It was one of the first things I ever did as a travel coach. And I still get royalties from it. I get paid to speak on stages. So if you're someone who wants to spread your message and make an impact that way, at events, get involved. And it's a nice way to get paid to travel for free, or have it covered and get paid for it. Running retreats or events. Maybe you're a retreat leader or thinking about running retreats. That's a great way to implement travel coaching into that. Or if you want to get into retreats and you are a travel coach, but retreats are a whole monster themselves. There's so much that goes into that. But you could collaborate and partner with a retreat leader and add your piece of value to their clients' experiences. Marketing and messaging as well. And then your social media content. There's different ways to generate revenue on your social media too. You can combine travel coaching with other roles. Like I said, if you are a travel agent or advisor, we have many in the certification program. Maybe you're a coach of a different sort, a life coach, a wellness coach, and you want to implement your passion for travel and what you're interested in into how you are helping your clients. If I missed anything here. In our program, we do provide a lot more like ideas for you guys, and we do talk about it quite a bit. But we're gonna go on to, I'm gonna give you an example. Like if you have companies, did I say, Debbie, what did I say with companies? Remind me so I can explain. So this is an example. If you were to create a signature coaching program, and people always ask, well, how can I make money that way? Or how do I price myself? Ask yourself, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make in a year? And then what would you want to price? You can just start with anywhere that you would, maybe it's $6.99 you want to offer your coaching program for, or maybe it's $19.97. Divide that. That gives you how many clients in the year that you need to have. Divide that by 12. That's how many clients you need to have a month. It's not that many that you need to get in order to make 50,000 or 90,000, right? So you need almost 6 clients to make 50,000 a year if your program is $6.99, or only 3 clients a month if your program is $19.97 to make 90,000 a year. So you have to break it down that way and ask yourself, what are your goals? Your goals are different from someone else's financial goals. Maybe you want to just do it as a side job. Maybe it's not a full-time thing. So that's why when people ask me, "Well, what do I price my offers at? How do I make money as a coach?" You have to get strategic in your business and ask these questions and answer them. The last page, companies. Okay, let me see. Working with companies. Yes. So as a wellness travel coach, one of the things that I did was I created digital products for certain companies that are in that were providing leisure experience or wellness experiences for business travelers. So various apps um, and like hotels as well. I provided some trainings that way. And I also created trainings with my knowledge and created digital products for travel managers for certain companies. So I always talk about the same thing. It was the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and overall wellness benefits of travel. And that was beyond just gym, spas, yoga retreats for wellness travel. And I implemented that into the business travel industry. So because my messaging was so different from what was being already talked about in the wellness travel space, and that's what I encourage you guys to do, find your own messaging. I'm going to talk about that soon. Um, and run with that. And that's where opportunities came that way. So you can work with companies. There's various ways. Working with companies means, could mean so many different things, but that was just one example of what I did. Um, oh, we kind of talked about this here already. That finding your niche is not the old school way of the demographics. Nice. So getting started and finding your niche, just getting started in your travel coaching business in general, some things that you need to consider are um, that your niche ties to your coaching program that you offer in your content. So you want to make sure there's that connection. Your niche will expand as well. Start somewhere. If you feel like, well, and this is what I don't want to hear, and I hear this often, is like, well, travel, everyone loves to travel. I can just serve anyone. That's not the case. Just because travel is something that a lot of us want to do at some point in our lives to some degree, but even if it's a family vacation once a year, you can, from a business standpoint, you can't have that mindset and that approach. It's not, you have to be strategic. Who are you actually serving? What are they actually in need of? And how can you actually help them? So what is your area of expertise and of specialization, I should say, and what painful problem are you solving? If you guys know what painful problem you are solving for your clients, drop it in the chat. I want you to self-reflect as well. If you have no idea where to start, what is my niche? Ask yourself, what did travel do for you? Or for me, what did travel do for me? How did travel change you? How did it impact your life? What were you looking for? What clarity did you get? Did you have an aha moment of some sort? Essentially, what is your brand story when it comes to travel? Um, what is your core message? If you were to stand on a stage and your ideal clients would be in the audience, what would you want to tell them in a short amount of time? What empowering and valuable piece of information do you want them to know? What do you want your ideal clients to believe in about travel? For example, when I started my wellness travel coaching business, it stemmed from me feeling and believing, and I spent several years doing research on all of this, but I believe there was so much more to wellness travel than gyms, spas, and yoga retreats. So you have to figure out what is your messaging, and it doesn't have to be so catchy and tagliney like mine is, but what is it? Maybe it's that travel is a powerful vessel for helping you cope and work through loss or grief. That can serve a lot of people, but it shows what you are helping people do and what you're all about. So what I don't want to hear is things like, well, travel is transformative. So I'm helping people have transformative experiences. That tells me nothing. I still have to ask you, well, who are you serving? What transformation are you helping them get? So you need to be more specific in your core message. Have you realized any problems or voids in the travel industry? Maybe that got you inspired. Maybe you realized that no one's talking about something or that everyone's talking about something and no one's doing it. Check out the chat here. Catherine said there's a travel clothing Facebook group page, but not sure if it's an individual purchasing program. Yeah, he was wondering if there's like an actual, like a personal shopper, like a stylist, or someone who he said, quote, who knows all the things. So like, I don't know, kind of interesting. It's not about making money for me. It's about traveling. I know the people, they are grateful and I get to travel with them. I'm not trying to make it a business. Yeah, you were, Rita, you're talking about the group tours. But we do have to remember that, if you're going to be spending your time, unless you have all the time in the world to do things for free, you have to charge. It is about making money at some point. And it doesn't have to be from an icky place either of like, charging, being afraid of charge. It's all in that mindset. But of course, it's definitely about those experiences you're helping people have. And for you traveling as well, too. Healing from trauma, getting back to who I am at my core, change of scenery helps to give you time to think about distractions. Why pain points and not positive reasons? Yeah, that's a good question. I've had that before of like, why say pain points? It's because it's a problem that it's alluding to the problem that people have. And not positive reasons. You can really use any term that you want to for it, as long as you're understanding what I'm meaning by it. I just tend to say pain points because it's the need, it's desire, it's that struggle, it's that catalyst that's getting someone, that's that painful part within them that is getting them to look for something. But it could be a positive reason as well too. Travel gave me the confidence that I needed to be a single mom and helped my son, and I built trust in each other. Yeah, my mom and I have taken lots of trips together too. I was born with the travel bug by wanderlust-stricken parents. I need to travel myself, plan on retiring soon. It's amazing. Wonderful. Whoopsies. Am I done with this one? Thinking about who can you best help? Like, who do you want to help? Again, building a business that is specific to what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, who do you want to work with, and who do you not want to work with? How do you want to help people is also something you need to think about. Do you want to work with individuals? Do you want to go on trips with people? Do you want to help with the planning aspect of it? Figuring things out for yourself and answering these questions. Maybe you do want to do the booking phase and you also want to become a travel agent. Maybe you love writing about travel. Maybe it's the blog that you can optimize upon too. Maybe it's retreats and you like that experience of that of what a retreat can bring people with. Maybe you like the more passive side of income with the digital products. I know that's something I like. You want to make sure that you set a solid foundation for your business. And this is something I talk about quite a bit. If you've ever heard any of my other trainings or videos or podcasts or anything, is that you have to set this solid foundation. Many times people want to automatically start making money. So they're going to skip a lot of really important steps, but you will always hit a wall. Even if you have success right off the bat, you're going to hit a wall. The reason is that it's going to bring you back to that foundation. Your foundation, what I mean by that is, what is your brand story? What is your brand all about? What got you to where you are now? Any and every entrepreneur and business has a brand story. What was the I'm looking for a certain word here, but what was kind of that journey, or what am I trying to say? What was the kind of catalyst got you to where you are? Like, what was that evolution? What was the conceptual of what you are doing in your business now and who you want to help? You have to have your brand story down. It's something we do trainings on. It's strategic. But when you think about any story that you heard, maybe you heard about a business owner in an article or a podcast, and you go and you share about them to someone else because it resonated with you, or you're like, oh wow, like that was super interesting and that's why they created what their business or what they're doing. That is their brand story, and you need to have one. It's going to help people remember you. It's going to touch on that emotional appeal to your ideal clients, and it's going to be that shareable aspect. So what is it that you would want others to repeat about you and your story? It has to be strategic. I'm not going to go into how to write your brand story in this training. It's we have a lot of that. If you are in the TCN global community, it's our free Facebook group, and you go to I think it's called slides at the top. There are a lot of resources, and I did a free 5-day workshop, and the recordings are in there. And one is on writing your brand story. I think if you just go to the video section, you might be able to find it in that group. Your core values are really important to identify. How do you want to make people feel? What do you want to be known for? And when I say feel, that's through working with people, that's through responding, customer service, it's through your marketing. It's through everything you put out there. Every single brand has core values. When you think about your favorite products or brand, or listening to your favorite business owner, whatever it might be, it's their branding and their values are that you're connecting with. I found one of my very first mentors who was in the sports industry, sports marketing industry. And he was the David Meltzer. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of him. He is the creator of entrepreneur.com's elevator pitch show. But I started work with him, and the very first mentor, when I remember being in Chile and trying to find Wi-Fi in the Atacama Desert to try to start my mentor session when I was just figuring out what I want to do in a business in general. And so I resonate with him because I was looking at his Instagram and his resiliency of what he's gone through and how he rebuilt himself and his kindness and his generosity. Those are his core values that resonated with me, that inspired me to now work with him. So even though he had nothing to do with travel. So you want to identify 3 to 4 core values. You can simply Google core values. You're going to get a whole list, see which one resonates with you. But I wouldn't go over the board with too many. Of course, we're going to align with so many. But you want to identify your core values because everything's going to tie to that. How you work with your clients, what you post, how they hear about you, what you talk about, how you talk, all of that has to do with your values. Where can you best reach your ideal clients? You want to figure out, am I showing up on the right platforms where my ideal clients are? And if not, make some changes. If your ideal clients are experiencing burnout or you're helping them in career transitions, they're probably going to be on LinkedIn. Would be a really good platform for you to be on. They may not be so much maybe on Instagram, or maybe not so much on TikTok. So you want to figure out, identify about 2 to 3 platforms. Don't feel like you need to master all of them. And I'm also going to talk about, if you feel like, well, I don't want to be on social media, I don't want to talk about my personal life. We'll talk about that a bit more in our marketing here coming up. And putting yourself out there, that's going to go into the visibility. That's also part of your foundation. How are people going to hear about you? If no one has ever heard about you, read about you, knows about you, they can never work with you, or they can never spread word of mouth about you to someone else who could possibly work with you. So you have to get visible. And we'll talk about that here in a second here. But first, what not to do in your business. I want you to not feel like you have to be a social media star to have a travel coaching business. I know that we do need to be visible, but there's many ways to be visible in our business beyond social media. And don't feel like you need to do dances on TikTok in order to sell your coaching program or whatever offer you have. Yes, drop in the chat your core values if you do know them. Faith, family, freedom are my 3 cores. Yes, I love that. Wait to hit that don't wait to hit that publish button. I know it looks like I'm telling you to wait to hit that, but don't. What not to do. because what I'm seeing a lot of people are hearing people do in business is like, I'm not going to put myself out there until my website's perfect, or I have my coaching offer, my program designed, or I have all the PDFs put into my coaching program that I'm going to provide my clients with, or my blog is ready and I have 5 posts first. Don't wait to publish yourself. Put yourself out there sooner than when you think you need to, because it all takes time. Just because you hit the publish button doesn't mean people are running to your website, doesn't mean people are running to your blog, doesn't mean people are going to bombard your coaching program and sign up for your offer. That's why marketing is really important. And I'll talk about marketing here in a second. But you need to gain people's trust. They need to understand what you're doing and they need to align with what you're doing. That's why you have to be able to speak to your ideal clients. Don't care what your friends and family think. I know this is a tough one for a lot of people. Like, well, I don't want to put myself out there because what is my family going to think? Or what are my friends going to say? Who cares? In your life, just like you're choosing to go on your travel adventures because you know how it benefits you, you have to make these decisions in your business as well. You need to put yourself out there, and it doesn't mean you have to share all your most personal stories. Absolutely not. It's strategic. You should be putting what's relevant and aligns with your ideal clients and what you're doing in your business as a travel coach, and putting that out there. And don't let the feeling of, what are people going to say or what are the expectations and I'm not aligning with that. It's your own journey. It's like traveling is a journey, business is a journey, life is a journey. You have to start making certain decisions and putting up boundaries as well. Don't feel like you need to start from complete scratch. Maybe you have a blog that you already worked on. Maybe you do have a website that you started. Maybe you do have a social media following of some sort. Just start transitioning that. Don't feel like I need to start completely from scratch, because that could be very overwhelming. And you never know, some of that content might be very relevant to what you're doing. And you can repurpose maybe some of that. Curiosity, adventure, connection, says John. Sarah says empathy, being genuine, self-care, mindset, honest connections. Yes, yes, yes. I love all those. Don't feel like you need to spend a lot of money also. Just because there's a lot of hats to wear, you should be wearing a lot of hats in your business. And this goes for any business. You have to be able to wear a lot of hats first, so you have a good understanding of how your business is going to run, what's needed, and what you want it to look like before you can hand that hat over to someone else. So don't feel like you need to get a personal assistant right away or a social media manager right away. Even if you don't like social media, you need to figure out how you can, what kind of content you're putting out and what you're so that it aligns with your brand. No one else is going to be able to dictate how your business and your branding is going to be. If you're just paying them to do that, it's up to you. You have to get that foundation set first. Don't feel like you have to spend all this money on tech and all of these, I need to pay to get, the payment plan set up and all of this stuff for processing. It's going to take time in your business for you to get any momentum first before you have clients just rolling in and you need all this automated systems and all of this payment processing and stuff. That will come. You will figure it out. Just like we figure things out when we're traveling. We're always, problem solving. We've become masters of that. Things are changed unexpectedly. Same thing in business. You will evolve. You will get better. You will figure it out when it comes. So don't feel like you have to do all of that first before you put yourself out there and start your business. So building your travel coaching business, you want to make sure that you want to be curious. Just like traveling, we are curious. Be curious about the world, be curious about other people, be curious about business, learning and developing, investing in yourself and your business growth. You have to believe that travel is powerful, that it's healing, that travel is needed and valuable. I don't think you all would be here watching this if you didn't. You need a community. Entrepreneurship can be really lonely. Starting a business is difficult. So having that community is really helpful. Even that accountability, it's something we make sure that our members get if that's something they're interested in, because you don't have to do it alone. And everyone has different piece of knowledge to share. You need an entrepreneurial mindset. Know and believe in what you're doing. I know it's easier said than done when there's so much noise out there and we have expectations upon ourselves of, well, no one really liked the post that I did. Totally fine. Figure out how to make that post work. What about it didn't work? How can you restructure it? And also understand that people may not always be interacting with your content, but they could be following your content. I've gotten many opportunities come my way from companies and people who I never saw their name or they interacted with anything I post or talked about. Sometimes it's the reverse. People who comment and post all the time on your stuff may not actually take action when time comes to pulling out their wallet. And getting in that mindset and just understanding and believing what you're doing and how you can help people and that you can help people. Be fearless. Sell yourself, sell your services, sell your brand, and don't wait to be perfect before getting visible. Figure out what business model works for you. Evolve your business model over time. Find what's important for at that moment in this unexpected industry. Just like any industry, it evolves and makes changes. There's AI coming in. What does that mean for you? How can you get more personal in how you work with people? Think like the go-to expert in your area of expertise. So name it. Say, I am the travel coach who helps X, Y, and Z. I help people have the experience of X, Y, and Z. Own it. Even before you work with anybody, just know and believe in what you are trying to do. Understand what energy you're putting out there too. So that fear mindset or that intimidation that you might be putting out there of like, well, maybe people believe in what I'm talking about. Maybe some people like my story. Some people align with this. Just be very stern and confident, just like we are traveling in different destinations with what you're capable of and what you can achieve. Know who you're serving, attract your ideal clients. And remember that you're responsible for your own leads, just like any other online business, you're responsible for your leads. What organizational skills are you going to have? We, in our program, help people figure out what their framework is. So how can you take all the ideas that you have and really put it into first one, filter out what's necessary. And two, how can you take what's left and put it into a framework that gives you clarity on what you do in your business, what you talk about, what you teach, and who that can benefit, who can benefit from that. Because I know how overwhelming it can be when you have so many different ideas and you're like, well, I want to help people with this and I can do that. And this is important to me. Well, creating a framework and putting structure to your ideas not only makes it clear for your ideal clients or your audience, it gives you the clarity on what you are doing so that you can now move forward. And that's a really important step. So designing your signature coaching program, you're going to want to ask yourself, how are you going to solve their biggest pain point? That's your main thing. As a coach in general, what is your ideal client's biggest pain point that you're helping them get? As a coach, what is the invitation that you are extending to them for their journey of transformation? To serve more clients and to design a business that gives you your time and your freedom back, you're going to want to create like a machine. What I mean by that is automate and systematize what you can in your business so that you're working smarter and not harder. Remember that you can change your offer to match your clients. So maybe some offers are going to provide private coaching sessions. Maybe some are going to offer group coaching sessions. Maybe it's just a digital product and that they can access and learn on their own. Maybe you're going to once a year hold a collective retreat opportunity. So you can change and evolve your offers based off of those individual clients' needs or demand or what people are asking for. Or also what you realize you like to do and don't like to do. Three, not three, clearly can't count, 5 pieces of the structure of designing your signature coaching program are onboarding. So how are you getting your clients ready? It's the first point that they're going to, of interaction with you, the first impression of working with you. What can you automate in that? So what welcome emails, what resources do they need? What contract maybe do they need? That's all part of the onboarding process. Your system or your method or your teachings is another piece. So what is it? What transformation or what steps need to be made between point A to point Z? So from their pain point to transformation or pain point to outcome or start to finish, what are those steps in between? That is your system. That is your content. That is your process. That's the journey. That is the meat of it. How can you implement the coaching aspect? So where are you putting that into the pre-trip? Maybe it's the planning phase, maybe it's the inspiration phase, into the during trip. How are you providing support, accountability? How does your clients know that you understand them and their needs? How are you understanding them? And then post trip too. How are you helping them implement what they learned and experienced during their trip to whatever it is that they want in their life? Maybe it's their work life, their personal life, their mindset, their day-to-day, or for their next trip. Community aspect. Are you offering a community aspect? So if you are doing group coaching, if you're doing group tours or retreats, anything in group, maybe it's even a Facebook group that you offer. What kind of community and support are you offering as an added piece of value to your coaching program? And then accountability. Accountability is big in the world of coaching. It's really hard. Just like in business, we always need support. We need mentorship. We need guidance. It's the same thing for when someone works with you as a coach. They need more. They're always going to need more support, more guidance, more help, hand-holding sometimes. Things could be difficult. It could be difficult to get out of their comfort zone. It could be difficult to try something new. So how are you going to hold them accountable? I'm just skimming over these. Again, we are already an hour and a half into this training, so I want to be more mindful of our time, mine and yours. And there's just a lot. Like, I'm not going to go into all these different business aspects. We do cover all of this in the program if you guys are interested, but just some things for you to think about when designing your coaching program. All right, let's talk about marketing here. How to market yourself in an authentic way, your own travel coaching way, and be authentic. Use your story. Share your story. Share your strategic brand story. Again, going back to that importance of the strategy of a brand story, because what I see many people do in the travel space is just talking about the countries they've been to or places they visited or how many places they visited. That's great. That's inspiring for people, but that's not going to align with them emotionally. That's not going to speak to your ideal clients. Your brand story is going to. So that's why it's really important to take your brand story, have that down packed, and then you can take pieces of that and share that as content in your marketing. Mute somebody. Can we all make sure that we're muted? I think Rita, I think you're the one I can't mute.
Or tonight, I'm not sure yet. Why don't you have, does your ears or throat hurt?
Hold on. Maybe hey Rita, can you mute yourself? Getting visible in your business. What do I mean by getting visible? There's so many different ways. Marketing is visibility. How are people hearing about you, learning about you? And that could be one, obviously, social media is visibility. There's different social media platforms. Make sure you're showing up on ones where your ideal clients are on and using. Where do they spend their time? Media publicity is a big one. I'm a big fan of media publicity. It's why we offer it in our membership club to have different opportunities to get their name and their business into different media outlets, publications. Every year, we offer our members the opportunity to be featured in Wander magazine. So when people ask me how I was able to grow my wellness travel coaching and the Travel Coach Network businesses as quickly as I have, one of the things I always say is media and publicity. It's a free way. I want you guys to like know that you don't have to pay for media. You shouldn't. I've never paid for media. Many outlets might, not many. There are outlets who might ask, but go elsewhere. You don't need to pay for that. It's a free way to share your story, get your ideas, your concept out there, your business out there in front of your ideal client. So again, it's strategic. What platforms you showing up on, what publications you pitching to, what podcasts you're going on. It must be where your ideal clients pays attention to. We do trainings on how to pitch to the media as well. Like a muscle that you have to learn. After time, it becomes easier. Video content, written content, your website is another part of your marketing. What are people, and you don't have to have a full website. You start with a landing page. Maybe it's your blog. Where are you driving people to? Where are you driving traffic to? You can get visible in events, organizations, or membership clubs. So are there any organizations where your ideal clients are that you can be a guest speaker for, that you can be a part of, that you can join a virtual event and connect with others in the chat? Are there Facebook groups that they're in? A few years ago, we had a widows organization reach out to the TCN and ask for a travel coach to do a presentation to empower their members who are widows to think about taking a trip to help them with their life, moving forward. And I never even knew that was an organization that existed until they reached out. And so you never know what's out there until you do some research on that. Networking at events, speaking opportunities. I love to do that and get paid for it. Virtual opportunities, like virtual events as well. These are all ways to get visible. There are 4 different types of contents that you can change up. There's educational, inspirational, motivational, and of course, salesy content. Remember that the type of clients that you get depends directly on your marketing or your messaging and your visibility. So you want to make it strategic. Talking about educational content, educating clients about the value of travel, maybe the benefits of transformative travel. So what are you teaching them? What do they need to know? Why should they care about travel? Why should they go to a certain destination? How is it going to help or satisfy whatever it is that they're in need of or whatever point in their life they're at? It's one thing to tell people they should go on a trip or try a solo adventure, but it's another to explain to them why. Not everyone gets it. Not everyone is an avid traveler like each and every one of you here. We understand the value of travel on us. Our ideal clients might not understand how a trip can benefit them at the point that they're at in their life or whatever they're in need of. They might not even have thought of it. It's up to you as the business owner, as that travel expert, as the travel coach to say, hey, have you considered this? Maybe this trip can help you with X, Y, and Z, or this type of experience can help you, or this destination can help you, or this group experience can help you. Maybe this is what you're looking for. Inspirational content, that's with your story, your adventures, your transformations. Motivational, paint the picture of what their life could look like if they go on that solo adventure, if they go on that group tour, or if they visit a certain destination. How would they feel? That's why it's important to understand their pain points, because when I say pain points too, it's also what keeps them up at night. What do they desire? What's the first thing they think about in the morning when they wake up? How do they wish their daily routine looked like? How do they wish their relationship looked like? How do they wish that their work-life balance looked like? These are all their pain points. So you have to understand your ideal clients and how do they want to feel so that you can help them make the best decisions for them through their travel experiences. And then lastly, salesy content, and it doesn't have to be the offer that you have to actually sell. It could be your lead magnet, a freebie. Um, it could be your Facebook group you want to invite them into. So some sort of call to action is your salesy content. Relationship building is really important in your business too. So not only relationship building, like networking wise, but there's mentorship, there's the relationships you have with your clients, how you work with them, the trust you build, that human compassion aspect, the relationships you help your clients have maybe amongst one another. It's all about people caring about people. Be sure to use your network, use your resources to help you through all this. And most importantly, be you and be authentic. Don't try to mimic and do what you see others doing or what you feel like you should be doing. So why become certified? As we know, the coaching industry in general is growing. There's a lot of noise out there, like things like MLMs or the coaches manipulating clients or business owners manipulating clients. Maybe there's pyramid schemes you heard of and so much more. But no matter how qualified or experienced you are, that's still a problem. So that's when someone who knows that their coach is certified, it changes how they perceive things. That's why in the TCN, we take extra measures each and every year, financially and time wise, to get our signature travel coach certification program accredited through the gold standards of standards in the coaching industry, which is the International Coach Federation, which is international. And I think I just told you the same content on this slide as the as the program. I just didn't change it, but these are just some of the testimonials, what some of our members of the Travel Coach Certification Program had to say. And as we come toward the end here, does anyone have any questions for me of anything that I talked about today? Be sure to drop that in the chat, and I'm open to taking any questions. Let me go back here to see if there's any that popped up. Any questions? Anything you need clarity on? Let's see. How do you seek out mentorship if you are just getting started? Um, Great question. Are you talking about getting started in business in general or getting started? Because Kaya, I think you're part of the TCN. I know that. Um, are you talking about getting started in the certification program? Because there's different ways to go about that. So if you are just in business in general, there's a lot of different ways to do that. One, what I have worked with a wide range of mentors. What I like to do is I find them through networking. So it could be on LinkedIn. If I see someone who's doing something that I admire, that I want to know how they did it, that I feel like they're of value, I would reach out to them and ask, do you offer mentorship or do you have time to answer a couple questions? I have met people in person at events, so different business owners. What I would recommend for mentorship is, and this is something that works with me and how I know when and what kind of mentor I need is, ask yourself, what are you struggling with most in that moment or at that time in your business journey, and then find someone to help with that. So for example, I have sought mentorship out when I needed like legal guidance on like trademarking. I've sought out mentorship when I knew I was at a place where the TCN was ready to take things to the next level and to scale. I needed mentorship when I was looking on how to gain partnerships and in that way. So people can help with mentorship in so many different ways. So I would really tap into the network you have, figure out if there's events. It could be local. There's also if you guys are based in the US, there's also a really great free mentorship organization, and it's called SCORE, SCORE.org, I think. And they offer free mentorship in all these wide range of categories. So I've worked with mentors with that. But usually I would just see someone I think is like a star, and I'm like, hey, do you mind if we connect? I've done that. would you suggest a newbie join the membership first or going to the certification program? I always recommend going to the certification program. Oh, I like that you brought that up because I want to say that for you guys joining to what's happening with my slides. We do have a really great offer this weekend only though. In the program. The reason I say the certification program is because that is what's going to help you with your business journey. It is the modules and the formats and the trainings and the ongoing support that you need. The membership club is just like a sprinkle, a taste of the opportunities, as well as like guest speakers and some trainings and some resources. But in the certification program, you kind of get, or not kind of, but you get all of the business journey, all of that training to become a certified travel coach. That's also a really big main difference is that you become a certified travel coach through our program versus the membership club is added benefits and other opportunities like media opportunities that get sent your way or virtual meetups, stuff like that. There's definitely a difference in them. How do I become part of the Travel Coach Network? There's various ways to become part of the Travel Coach Network. You can, if you want to come into our free Facebook group, that is TCN Global Community on Facebook. You could, if you're on, I'm going to email out to all of you who are watching the replay and who are here today. So I can include some of those links in the email. But join our free Facebook community. You can join a membership club if you like. And of course, you can also join the Travel Coach Certification Program if you want to become a certified travel coach and grow and build your own travel coaching business. Guys, is very helpful. Great. Any other questions from anyone? Again, these are just some other testimonials of what some of our members have said in the certification program. I'm going to share a little bit more about our certification program right now. If you have any other questions, you can definitely ask. But it's accredited through the ICF, International Coach Federation, like I mentioned, and you do get 40 CCE hours. It is not only do you learn how to become an accredited ICF coach and its core competencies and fundamentals, but also we are very business oriented in this. So it's how do you start a business? How do you market yourself? How do you scale your business? How do you create revenue streams? Is all covered too. There are 9 pre-recorded modules and it is self-paced. So when you join, you can start anytime you want. But this is a really great opportunity to take advantage of that sale. If in the TCN, we are also in the club on Facebook page. If in the TCN, we're also in the club on Facebook page. What do you, can you explain a little bit more, Debbie? I think are you saying like if you're in the certification program, are you in the membership club? Is that what you're asking? And if so, they're 2 completely different offers. I made it to the final part, hopefully finishing soon. Yeah, Rita, you're in the program. Debbie, yes, yeah, they're 2 completely different offers. So there are many people in the certification program do join the membership club because of the added opportunities that are given. But they're 2 completely separate offers. Hope that answered. Going also by the certification program, we do have live monthly group coaching sessions from practice coaching sessions, live trainings. There's a variety of those every month. If you cannot make them, that's okay. They get recorded and all of them get put into what's called the replay cabin. And you will also have access to the replay cabin of all of our previous trainings and monthly sessions and guests and everything that's in there. So it's a really great, valuable resource to have. Any other questions that we have here? So again, I am talking about we do have this limited time offer for this weekend only. If you're thinking about joining this travel coach certification program, you're not in it yet. The price is going to be increasing even more this year, but we do have this great discount. We do want to make note that soon, in our future, most likely at the end of this year, we are going to be charging a reoccurring yearly reaccreditation fee, because right now it's a flat fee. Like once you pay, you're in. There's no other payments that you need to make or fees, I should say, but that's going to be changing in the near future. So we are looking for our first 500 legacy travel coaches. We're at about 455, almost 460. And so the first 500 of our legacy travel coaches in the program are going to be grandfathered in to not having to ever pay a reoccurring yearly fee. So those who are in the program right now, you are grandfathered in. But for those who are after the first 500 are going to be charged a yearly reaccreditation fee for joining the certification program. So that's another reason why now is a great time to join. But also, if you're interested in joining, the first 10 people who join this weekend are going to get a private, free 45-minute business coaching session with me. So if you guys have been talking about mentorship, you're so welcome. Everyone's so excited for that. You're welcome, Rita, Laura, Debbie, Linda. Yes, of course. Many certification programs, like I know for when I'm the one I did for a wellness specialist, I pay every year. A lot of certification programs are charge you a yearly fee to keep it going. We again are going to be doing that in the near future, but we are locking in our first 500 legacy members first, and we are almost there. So the first 10 people to enroll this weekend are going to get a free 45-minute private business coaching session with me. Great for mentorship. I know that taking action can be scary. Starting a business could be scary. Be confused on what do you want to focus on, what's your niche, all of that good stuff. That mentorship call is going to be really helpful. You can schedule that anytime that you want. Does not need to be soon. A lot of people who have had that opportunity in the past, it's up to you. Some want to do it in the beginning, some want to do it middle, some want to do it at the end when they finish the program. And again, you can lock in this price now, and then you can start anytime that you want. It's a nice way to take advantage of our promotion here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Keep on letting me know if you have any questions about anything. Drop your Instagram handle if you haven't done that already too. Connect with one another. One second, let me grab our link here. So if you want to learn more about the certification program, if you're not in it yet, there's no discount code or anything needed. The price is already on there. There is a payment plan option too, but if you want to pay in full, you do save some money. Plus you get, if you're one of the first 10 people, that free 45-minute session. Did we have a question? I'm a module 2 of the certification program. Really enjoyed it so far. Thanks for all you do, Sahara. I feel confident I can do this and keep loving the travel industry. Chat keeps moving on me. You're so welcome though, Sarah. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. I feel like a company could do this and keep loving the travel industry. Yes. We love that. We love hearing that. Loving the support and the networking opportunities. Yes, we love to be able to provide all of that. So we're a big fan of getting feedback from our members. So if there's anything you're looking for in the program, we'd love to add that in there, which is why we provide different opportunities for networking, for virtual meetups, for our database, our spreadsheet, our directory of all of our travel coaches to connect with others, to support everyone. Your opportunity to get an accountability partner too. So we try to make it the most well-rounded experience that we can, because like I said, we know growing a business is not easy, and that there's a lot of support and guidance that you do need along the way. Does anyone have any last questions about everything? I want to thank you everyone who has stayed. I don't see the payment plan option. Did you click on that page? Scroll down and you'll see the choose your payment plan below. So there's the pay in full is on here. I'm going to share my screen for you so people can see it. All right, so when you go onto the landing page, you might have just clicked this button here, which goes to the pay in full. Scroll down right here, and then it will give you your payment plan option. So there's the payment plan right here for you. And then the pay in full for you guys. I know the landing pages can be hard to navigate. Any last questions from anybody? Like I was saying, thank you to everyone who has been here this entire time. Right? I gave you guys the right link, did I not? Yeah, that's the right link. So click on the link and then scroll down, Sarah. Yeah. Otherwise, you can email me and I can help you out too. Here's my email. Oh, yes, I hope. Thank you for very informational. Good. I know there's so much covered. So again, I'm going to send out the replay to this. Once it is uploaded, I'll send out the chat as well. Sometimes people like to go back and connect with everyone on there from Instagram. And then I'll send more details on the this promotion. But if you guys have anything, Laura says this is a great refresher. You're so welcome. Thanks, Laura, so much for showing up. And thanks everyone for hanging on with us here. I know there's a long one today. Any last questions? Link to global community. Yes, let me grab that too. This is the to our Facebook group. The TCN Global Community. It's a really great way to also get some. I go live every first Wednesday of the month in there, and you can save it on your calendar and under the events. So if there's ever a topic you want, you could just let me know, and I'm happy to cover that. Connect with one another in here. This is the TCN Global Community. Dropping it in the chat right now. There you go. And then, yeah, so if our guides, so if you go to the guide section, I'm going to share my screen again. If you go to the guide section, you want to find what I was talking about of the 5-day free workshop. So I'm on the Facebook page. If you go to here, guides, and maybe some of you members who've been here a while don't know this either. So go to guides and you scroll down. These are all great resources with different categories, but keep on going. So this is the 5-day workshop I held. There's one of writing your brand story on day 3. So these are great replays to take a look at in there. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope to be welcoming some new members to the certification program. If anyone who's in the membership or in the certification program wants to join the membership club at our discounted rate for you guys, send me an email or a message and I can send you that specific link. There's a lot of really great opportunities for growing your business in there. But I love seeing all you guys. I love seeing new faces and familiar faces. And thanks for everyone who's joined around the world. All right, everyone, take care. And I will send out the replay for all of you. Bye, everyone.